Coming up on iPads in the Classroom, it's free assessment apps. Hi, my name is Guy Trainin and this is iPads in the Classroom from TechEdge. And today I wanted to spend some time talking about assessment and the way we can do assessment using iPads. And most of what I'm going to show actually crosses devices. So even if you have students using different devices than you use an iPad and they use computers or the other way around or any combination, even if they have their own devices, most of these would work across platforms. So that's something that's important to consider, knowing what you have and which one of these apps will work across. The first one I want to talk about is called Quizlet. And what Quizlet allows you to do, as I'm opening this, is Quizlet allows you to create study sets. And what they really are flashcards. And those flashcards can be created by you, or you can tap into flashcards that were created by others, including teachers creating class sets or students contributing to class sets. So you can have classes right now. I don't have those, but I do have some sets that I've created. Let's look at my Hebrew vocabulary set that I created a few minutes ago, just to show there are only 3 vocabulary words and they're spelled in Hebrew on one side and in English on the other side. This also shows you that you can use that for languages as well as for studying any topic, let's say science, and you're studying basic concepts and terms. What can you do with this? Well, these are the cards, so you can actually see the cards. This is the word shalom in Hebrew, which means hello, litraot, which means goodbye, and lechol, which means to eat. And if you tap on them, it'll give you that answer. So you can study. So this is the study mode. Then what you can do is what they call the learn mode. And in this one, you actually have to respond to the prompt. So this gives you the word in English and you would have to write it in Hebrew. And to do that, you need to change languages. The international symbol on the bottom shows you that you can switch between languages. Right now on my iPad, I have Hebrew and English, but you can have any other language as well. And so you can write it, and I'm writing the answer, and I'm saying, and it's giving me a check mark, and you can go through, and it shows you, there's a bar that shows you your progress and how many you answered correctly. So that's the second way. And then there's a mini game where you have to match the word. So you match the word, in this case, because of the way I have it, the Hebrew and English. You can also set up as a word and its definition, or a term and the thing it's connected to. You can do antonyms. You can do anything that you can imagine doing with these kind of cards. So you do it very quickly. Let's say this one is correct. Let's do one that isn't correct. You can see it turns red and it tells you it's wrong. And then it tells you that it's right. It tells you how long it took you. And you can keep improving your time. Now, the more terms you have, obviously, the harder it gets. The feature that I love about this, besides being able to create your own, which is really important, is the ability to share and the ability to tap into other people's learning or cards. So if you go to your sets, these are my sets, but if I go to my study feed, I've added sets created by other people. So I can go to one called reading vocabulary. This is something someone created. You can track who it is, and I can study the terms. I can use the same learn thing. So here is the definition, and you write it out here. And if you get it wrong, it'll give you a hint. So let's say I say something and it's wrong. It'll tell me that it's wrong, and then it'll give me the response right there, and it'll let me do it again, so you still get the practice. So you can actually use this in multiple ways to learn and to assess, and most importantly, maybe self-assess, so students can learn to start monitoring their own achievement. So this one is called Quizlet. The next one I want to show you is called Socrative. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing this right. And Socrative exists online as an app on just internet app, or there are apps for phones and for tablets. And I use the teacher side right now. And what you do if you register as a teacher, and again, it is free, is you immediately get a room, and that is how everybody else, so all of the students in that room, log in. They use this number right here on top, and when they plug in this number, now they're part of your room. Right now I have one student in my room. There are two major ways to use this. You can use this in real time, and the way you use it in real time is you have what is called here single question activities, and what you do is you post a question orally to your students. Can you tell me what you think are the best way to assess writing, let's say, and then you say multiple choice, and you tell them what choice A, B, or C are, all the way up to E. And so everybody in the class votes. I will give you an example. There's only one person in the class, so I voted, and it's 100%. But this immediately shows up on your screen, or if you're broadcasting your screen on everybody's, on the large screen in front of the classroom. And that way, you can immediately see what everybody is doing. It doesn't identify the students personally. So you can have these structured responses, but you can also create true-false questions or short answer questions where everybody's got to type in, and you will see all of the responses coming up on your device. Another way to use this is if you've prepared something in advance, you can actually create to start a quiz that you've made in advance, and I've made a few quizzes. So you have quizzes that you've created. How about iPad quiz? What are you interested in? And there are two formats that this can happen. There's teacher paced, which means that you as a teacher actually control the pace that the questions are going to be used, and that makes everybody move together. If you're running instruction with that lockstep kind of instruction, I would use that. But if you just want students to fill it out as a quiz, you do student paced, and then they work on their own until they're done. Some can be done faster, some can be done slower, so they're not waiting for each other and they're not rushing if they're a little bit late. And there are some quiz options here that are worth talking about. You can randomize answer choices, especially if this is a quiz that is an assessment for a grade. You can randomize the answer choices, and you can add features and explanations to those to make sure that this is equitable and kids are not able to just copy from each other and move along. Again, a great free app that you can use in your classroom. The third format that I want to talk about is an app I've talked about before, and I seem to be coming back to a few apps repeatedly because I think they do so much that it's worth talking about what they can do. And this one is called iCardSort. iCardSort has lots of options, and what you really do is you use cards, and you can use sorting activities, actually matching activities, all kinds of things that you can build. In this case, I have affixes of activity that I've built, so I've got some root words that are marked in color, and then on white I've got prefixes and suffixes, and the idea is kids can really quickly, kids or any student can create new words and start understanding how the morphology of the English language works with affixes. And then what they can do as part of that assessment is simply take a picture of the board as it is and email it to a teacher or email it to each other as a way to show their work. So you can create these two words, and to take a picture, you just press on the start and home button. You get this lovely sound and the flash, and you know that now this picture exists in your picture roll or photo roll. And now you can export it or email it or post it anywhere that you want. The other thing I love about this is that you can import and export these sets. So if you have one set and you want to share it with a whole classroom full of devices, all you have to do is to press the blast. They say import on their side, and here they have this deck of cards you've created that now they can use to create their own words. Or even better, if students are now, if you flip the activity and now students are creating their own card sets, now you're asking them to create their decks and share it with you or with each other. They can do that very easily over Wi-Fi or over Bluetooth. Very, very easy. So today we talked about 3 apps that are fantastic for assessment. They can be used for teaching. So assessment is just part of that activity. And we talked about Quizlet that really allows students to practice a set of words or a set of vocabulary terms or even language and the ability to move between languages and practice. That's one. The second one was Socrative. And Socrative allows you to use clicker-like activity where the whole classroom responds, takes quizzes, or responds to questions in real time in the classroom. And the last one, iCardSort, which is a paid app. But this one really allows you to explore, to connect words, and to share all of those very effectively. So I recommend it highly. And I'll see you next time on iPads in the classroom.